Hey guys, I'm DeLadySigner. Welcome back to Jurassic World Death Valley. Today we're going to be building a big aviary for the Quetzalcoatlus and finishing the carnivores area. So we're going to be starting right here and building the aviary. Oh my god, the aviaries in this game, they are so hard to work with. Trying to get them to go where you want them to. I mean, I know they've made it a bit easier with the arrows and the little circles on them now, but yeah, it's still a struggle. Normally in these videos I sort of edit it so you just see me do the finished product. But I thought it'd be interesting in this one to include a few of the sort of missteps along the way, so you can see how the aviary came together. So I wanted to have the aviary up on a hill behind the Pyroraptor volcano, so it really stands out. And I'd forgotten that you can't change the terrain underneath aviaries, so we'll delete that and then build a big hill in here to put it on top of. And what I want to do with the aviary is come up with a really interesting shape for it. Rather than just doing a giant sort of dome, I wanted to make it more like a loop. They would fly around with a gap in the middle that we can put some infrastructure in. So I'm building it like that here. You can see the little sort of hole in the middle. And this should make it a bit more interesting than your average aviary, I'm hoping. So put the viewing gallery on. And in the middle, I'm going to put a watchtower so that the Quetzalcoatlus can be observed. And then I'm going to put in some water tanks as well that look like a sort of filtration system to clean all the water that is inside the aviary. So what I'm doing is just putting some water in and then using the concrete barriers to sort of build a wall so it looks like a tank. Pretty simple. Obviously not that much crazy stuff you can do in JW2, but it does actually look really effective. I think you saw it in the opening shot. It does actually look sort of like the water filtration system that I intended, so I was pretty pleased with that. So we'll get that perfect, and then we'll move on to doing the inside of the aviary. And while I'm finishing that off, exciting news for the rest of the episode. We're going to finally be adding in some of the dinosaurs that you guys have suggested. So into the carnivore area that we started with the T-Rex, we're going to be adding Troodon and Majungasaurus. So that's something I'm really looking forward to doing, and we'll be getting to that as soon as we finish this aviary. So I want the front of the aviary to have most of, well, all of really, the water, to keep the Quetzalcoatlus mainly where the viewing gallery is. So we're going to put all the fish feeders at the front here, and then use loads of rocks and loads of water and quite a lot of plants, or as many as we can do in this environment, to make it look really lush. So I want the view from that viewing gallery to be really cool, and I want that to be a feature. So we're going to put perches in for the Quetzalcoatlus. Although I noticed with this perch here, with it being one of the large perches, they actually clip through the aviary barriers when they land on it. So I swapped this out for a smaller one later. It's obviously too small an aviary to use these on a corner like this. So I'm going to put a load of rocks around this, make it look really interesting. The aviary is probably too small really for the Quetzalcoatlus, but this is Jurassic Park, not like a real life zoo or anything, so I'm not too fussed about animal welfare here. It just provides them with a way that they can fly around in a loop and keeps them where the guests can see them, and they do look really cool as they fly past the viewing window. So that is pretty much what I'm trying to achieve here. Now, concentrating really hard on the foliage and the rocks all around, especially this front part where the viewing window is. I want this to look really natural and as lush as possible, and in this sort of enclosed area that we've got here in the aviary, it seems to be easier to achieve that than it is out on the sort of open parts of the park. So I'm pretty pleased with how this looks in the end. I'm just going to make those plants slightly lower so we get a better view from here, and yeah, that's looking good. Going to put the entrance in. This will join up with the central part of the park later on when we build that. For now, I'm just going to concentrate on the immediate entrance area, make a nice little path leading up to it, again with more foliage, just choosing the right kind, and then we'll surround the whole aviary with more foliage, so it looks like a real sort of destination that you want to go to. The hill also hides the sort of breeding area behind it, which isn't really designed for the guests to be able to see, so that's useful. Put an emergency shelter in. Don't think I've got a single one of those in the park yet, so that needs to go in there. And then we'll join this up with the infrastructure in the rest of the park so that the staff can actually get in here. Going to add another response facility as well, so that these guys and the T-Rex will actually have people looking after them. And now it's time to add the Quetzalcoatlus into the aviary. I've been obsessed with these ever since I was a kid. They are absolutely amazing, like a plane that's alive. You'll see a lot more of those at the end of the video. Let's move on now and finish the carnivores area of the zoo. So like I said, we are going to be adding some of your dinosaur ideas in here. So we're going to have 2 more habitats on either side of the path that we are building here. And this is going to be the second stop on the monorail after the Valley of the Giants that we built last week. So after guests get off there will be walking paths, but they can also walk around to the carnivore area here. I think I mentioned this in the first episode, but the way I want this park to work is a bit different from the standard sort of Jurassic World parks, where rather than the majority of the people moving around the park using the Jeep tours and the gyrospheres and stuff, I kind of want this to be like a walking park, more like a zoo. So you'd use the monorail to get to each different section of the zoo, or the park rather, and then once you're into that area, you would then walk around it. So I've concentrated a lot on the paths for all of these areas, rather than Jeep tours. I might have a Jeep tour or a gyrosphere in one of the larger habitats. I'm not decided yet. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to see one of those or not. But for the moment, we're going to be concentrating mainly on people walking around each area and using the monorail to travel between the 2 areas. So in the habitat at the bottom, we're going to have the Troodon, and then Majungasaurus in the one at the top. And again, getting them really close to the path, not quite as close as I built them first time, so I'm just going to reconfigure these fences so that the guests aren't actually going to have their hands eaten off, and do a load more landscaping. And then we'll be able to start getting the dinosaurs in. So the guests will get off the monorail, see these 2 dinosaurs, and then walk through the sort of teeth rocks to get to the T-Rex habitat, which will be the climax of the carnivore area. So I'm making the Majungasaurus more of a sort of desert kind of environment with a little oasis there, and then the Troodon will be a bit more foresty. Troodon, I'm not entirely sure which way you should pronounce it. Get some rocks in as always, and then release the dinosaurs. And that is the carnivores and the aviary finished. I'll leave you with the end cinematics. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you very soon for the next episode of Jurassic World Death Valley. Thanks for watching.